Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Caper Sarah Cody. We're keeping it geekly with our returning guest, Randy Stone, and a new guest, Jordan Alsaqa. We're here to break down Bullet Adventures 1 through 4 and everything in between. Randy, welcome to the stream. Jordan, you as well for our first time guest. We're going to be diving into you a little bit deeper, but real quick, before we do that, Randy, what's been up since you last been on? Interview 272. I mean, you said it was like 3 months ago. That's almost 120 interviews for me. So time is just a made up construct at this point.
You're obviously way more productive than I am. But yeah, we pumped out a couple issues of Bullet Adventures. Got that fulfilled from the last Kickstarter, and obviously we have launched the issue number 4 project. We're 12 days into that, I think. Yeah, going strong, hoping to finish even stronger. It's been a lot of fun kind of sharing some of this with the world, because it's been under wraps for so long. We had the issue completed probably 6 months ago or so, maybe longer. So finally we're getting to share some of these pages and talk about it.
Well, absolutely. And Jordan, this is your first time on the show. I mean, it is truly a pleasure. I've had the chance to talk with Randy about issues 1 through 3. I think pretty much every show we've had you on for at least one of those issues. So it's awesome to get a chance to kind of dive into the creative mind behind it. Real quick though, where did it all begin for you? I mean, was Bullet Adventures kind of your first break into comics, or where did you start your adventure?
So I started in, if we're gonna go way back, I started in like middle school when I started drawing stick figure comics. But I didn't want to be a comic creator at that point. I just knew I wanted. Actually, at that point, I think I still wanted to be a dentist. And then I went to lawyer, and then I decided making money was a bad idea. So in college, I majored in creative writing. It never quite was my favorite. Like I was okay with prose. I didn't like poetry, but it was what I went for 4 years. And then I was a bit aimless for about 1.5 years after college, just like doing the part-time jobs, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my degree. But one of my friends at the student paper was a cartoonist, and he started putting together a comics anthology and was asking if I'd be interested in writing something for it. And the anthology never happened. But the short that I was really proud of the script for, and because we were friends and he'd been kind of doing it as a part-time thing, was already edited. I found an artist through DeviantArt at the time, Rembrew, and that became my first one-shot Terminal Protocol, which was my first Kickstarter, and that was in 2015. And then that got picked up by Scout Comics when they were kind of starting out, and we're just sort of like gobbling up all kinds of Kickstarter projects. It was a right place, right time thing, but it was a good experience of getting. They helped me kind of smooth over those first Kickstarter flaws where I might have mismeasured money, and they helped. They covered the printing cost, and then from there it was just more small projects. Like I did a horror one-shot Finding Peace with Marie Anger, and I did We Have to Go Back, another one-shot. A lot of this was Kickstarter stuff. And it was around then I'd started doing pitches, and Randy saw something I did. I don't know. It was a Twitter thing, which is most comics works. Even still, it was a Twitter thing. But he emailed me and was interested to see if I would be interested in helping him rewrite a script he'd written a long time ago. And from there we've just continued working over the past. I think it's been 4 years about now since we first talked, and I've been doing a lot of other stuff, pitching. I have. My first graphic novel with Vivian Trong is coming out in September from IDW, Cooking with Monsters. But
that's so awesome.
Even as I'm doing all these other projects, Bullet's been a constant, and it's been one of my favorite things to work on.
Randy, what was that tweet? Do you remember?
It was a story called Bald Spot.
Okay.
And obviously that hit home for me. I think he was asking for just people to review it. And I said, yeah, I'd be interested in reading it. And he nailed characterization in there, and I got the sense that he'd do well with what I had to offer for the Bullet pitch. And he broke it down and rebuilt it up far better than I ever could have. And yeah, just from there, it was perfect.
Was not expecting the Bald Spot reference. Obviously, it did take it for Randy. Oh my God. So you, the initial, when you took a look at this, the script, how much changed? Was there a lot that was moved around, or how was that experience like, Jordan?
It was a very collaborative one. I think Randy had a lot of distance because I think he'd written it 10 years ago.
It was almost a decade, yeah.
And I think even things you've written a year ago, you can look at and be like, this was not any good. So he was pretty detached from it, but he had the plot points, and the general structure for like the reveal at the end and the characterizations of Dale and Joanna. But I was pretty free to go in and change up a lot. I don't think I really did too much with the structure. I think it was a good like through line for the whole arc. It was mostly a lot of dialogue changes. And in the middle with all of the action, it came to, let's really flesh this out. I created a few more villains that have, of course, since shown up in the main book, where it was just, let's have fun. Let's really go all out, because the goal was to emulate the Silver Age, and we didn't have a lot of space, but we could go, let's suggest as many adventures and crime-fighting escapades that we could. So it came down to just taking what was there, which was a very solid base, and updating it. And again, I got to make it my own pretty well, and I think that's something that, if you look at even the credits on the issues, it has shifted that way, where it's become much more, I just get to script, and we're still always coming up with stories together. We have whole documents and conversations, but I've been afforded a great amount of freedom, which I really appreciate.
What was it like, starting to work on like something of like an existing IP? Was this your first time doing something of that nature?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's obviously not as restrictive as I would imagine Big 2 work would be, because it's just Randy and his idea that he wanted to see executed the best it could be. And it was a challenge. That was the biggest reason I said yes, is I think I took a little time to think it through, and I wanted to get a little, admittedly, because it's an indie publisher and you never know in comics, I wanted to get a little more of a vibe check for Randy, because you just don't know until you've actually worked with someone. But I found, he was receptive to ideas, anything we disagreed on, which was, I don't think has ever been anything that big as far as ideas. We talk it out, and sometimes I'll talk him into something, and other times we'll like meet the middle, or it'll be like, no, this was the right way to go. But it's been a great collaborative process. I've done a little bit more IP work since then, and I think I've learned a lot just by knowing how to say yes and no to different things, and how to balance that out. So it's been a great help for that.
That collaborative process can be a tricky one, right? Like, because you want to make sure your vision's kind of going through, but you want to make sure their vision's going through as well. And it just feels like it could be very, very tricky to like maneuver and make sure both parties are satisfied. Randy, what was that feeling you had when you kind of seen your old script get new life brought into it? It had to have been like such just an outstanding feeling.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think in my initial email, I said something to the effect of, do this, but better. And he did. Like, it was perfect. And just the collaborative nature of that, where I had like, maybe one scene in mind, and then he's delivered it in such a way that it actually worked. And it really hasn't been difficult at all. Like, there may be times like, maybe this would be better, and okay, yeah. But there's never any like butting heads. It's always been escalating things to the better. I've had a really fun time. I've never done this kind of collaboration with a writer before. Obviously artists I've worked with, but yeah, just that back and forth. It's some of the most fun times is those late night emails. Like, I had planned to go to bed or whatever, and I got some draft from Jordan. I messaged him, I'll review that in the morning. But then, an hour later, I'm like sending him a long email with all the things that this
needs to be changed.
No, not even that. Like, just riffing off each other. Like, I think that's the cool thing, is that there may be something there that sparked some idea that I came up with, and then back and forth. And, to some points that we don't even know whose idea that was. Like, I reference this, I can't remember the exact scene, but Jordan complimented me on what a great idea that was. And I was like, no, that was actually you who came up with that. But because we're actually just gelling together, it works out really well.
Is that his reverse psychology? Jordan was just, he wanted you to acknowledge that without...
I was just fishing for the compliment.
So, I mean, what's it like when you guys begin working with an artist? Do you both still remain, keep that collaborative, team intact, or is one of you kind of take the lead on that?
I think definitely it's been more me. And that was not intentional that I was trying to keep them in silos or anything. It's just I was the go-between, and more so now that we've actually introduced the team together with the current group. We've gone through some artist changes from the initial one shot and then issue 1 of Bullet Adventures. Unfortunate that we couldn't keep those artists on. That's one thing with being good. You're in demand, you can't come back necessarily, or just, with Laura Kane, she realized that doing an ongoing superhero book was a little bit more than she could handle at the time. So that brought in Nico, perfect opportunity, because we shifted to the present day with issue 2. And I've been working with him based off of scripts that we had previously written, so he wasn't involved so much from the ground floor with those previous issues. But moving forward, we're hoping to all get on the same page and get everybody excited and drawing stuff that they want to work on, and building it as more of a collaborative team effort instead of just Jordan and myself going back and forth. So it wasn't intentional to keep the writers and artists separate. I think moving forward we will have more of that collaborative nature from everybody.
Yeah, I think development it developed naturally, because again, Randy started with a script that he wanted to see brought to life or reinvented, and it was just kind of pulling the pieces together. None of us knew each other. I've since had a chance to talk with Kath, who worked on the first issue a bit more, but it always, and we had that whole piecemeal approach, but now we do have a group in place that we hope will stick around for as many issues as we're lucky enough to make. And we had our first sort of summit meeting where we all just had
that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just nice to know the team and know what we're working towards. And now that we've done those first issues that we're wrapping up with this, the fourth issue, I kind of know what Nico is capable of, what Fran is capable of. Lucas on lettering is always phenomenal.
Lucas is a beast.
So many books.
Yeah. There's seems like every interview I do, there's at least a Lucas project involved once a week. Yeah, Lucas is phenomenal. Great. Yeah.
Working with him on that, I've done a pitch that's out there right now that I was like, Lucas, please letter this. You're a phenomenal talent.
That is awesome. And that just really goes to show you too, the writing is really important, the art is really important, but the lettering is just as important. What's that saying? It's like good lettering you really won't ever good lettering you won't notice, but bad lettering you'll notice right away. It just goes to show you how important just every team member is in this project. So give us a little bit of a recap. There's been a lot that's happened with issue 1, 2, and 3 leading up to the 4th. I mean, so what's been going on in Bullet Adventures?
So we have had a lot, which is the thing. I got a chance to see pretty recently the first trade cover, which is just the one shot in the 4 issues, but it's packed with characters. So, the one shot is of course about Dale in the 60s, who is, Randy.
Hold on one second. Let me get you in the campaign showcase. We'll get you zoomed in on that. And Jordan, I know this is your first time on the show. I have an animated thing with us, so it's not just the static image in the background.
Gotcha.
That is gorgeous, though. Holy crap! And I love how they're all surrounded too.
Yeah, we've introduced just a crazy amount of people. Which again, 60s Dale is just sort of, again, it's his Silver Age throwback. It's him as a speedster, the only hero on the scene, and running into all these crazy colorful characters. And that ends with the reveal that his speed was draining his life, and in order to save the world from this alien invasion, he aged himself 40 years overnight. Bullet Adventures 1 picks up with him in 2005, I think is the year. Where
6.
He is.
We had to bump it back because
of how long it was out. Where he's at the end of his life, he gets a chance to kind of against his will go back in time and potentially change things. And in that process, he sort of gets lost in time. He de-ages for some reason yet to be explained. And he ends up sort of lost in time. We fast forward to present day. We meet Lainie, who's his granddaughter, who has gotten the same powers. She's taken up the mantle and has become a speedster in her own right. We see her sort of struggling to have that classic teen superhero experience, balancing school life, friendships, superhero family. And then that second issue ends with Dale arriving in the present, still a young man, way past what was supposed to be the end of his life. And from there, our next issue is the two of them finally getting a chance to talk, getting a chance to fight crime together and determine how are we going to balance this? Can we both be speedsters? And that's sort of where it's at in issue 4 and the thing I like about issue 4 is we had a lot of setup. All of it, I think, works really well, but it was a lot of, okay, here's the issue where we reintroduce Dale. Here's where we introduce Lainie. And 4 is just the first one where it's no, this is their status quo. This is the two of them as heroes together, still figuring each other out, but getting the chance to be a little more fun and loose, a little less worried with the plot setup and being okay, let's just have a fun superhero adventure.
No, I love that. We have Michael Katz. Bullet Adventures is very enjoyable, worthy of a Big 2 book. Thank you so much for swinging by. Awesome compliment there. I agree too. So issue 4, I loved it. I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but I loved how Dale just does not know what's going on. has no idea about social media, and I loved how you kind of really painted that picture. The introduction of the new character. Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
The influencer. I loved I love the perspective. When Dale's like laying down and all the screens popping up. It was such a gorgeous like shot. I mean, just like so much real day stuff went into this, and it was just, when I was reading this, I was like, oh my god, a VTuber? I don't think I've ever read about a VTuber in a comic book.
That was the big pitch was, and that's one of those things. I know I mentioned we've argued a little, and that was one of the things I did not want to do. The old man messes with social media, because it felt like, oh, how this is going to be played out. It's something we've gotten thousands of jokes for. But I didn't disagree that yes, he is new to the present. He'd be learning about these things, and the thing I really wanted to do was, I didn't want him to be the butt of the joke. I wanted it to be like, oh, her friends actually think he's kind of cool because they think he's doing this bit. And then with the VTuber, I was just like, I hadn't seen it before either, and it was a way for me to get in Dale's head a little, because I'm at that age. I'm 32 next month, so I'm at that age where I'm still young enough that I know about YouTubing and streaming, but VTubers are kind of just at that threshold where I'm like, what's going on with this?
I'm 33 and I feel kind of ouch. Are you coming for me with that too?
I mean, I know it, because I know people who have like streamed with them. It's like I'm on the edges, so that was where I could go. Let me learn about this. Let me try to be hopefully accurate, which I'd like to think it came out pretty good. But that was my way to be like, all right, I'm going to be as confused as Dale and try to sell it. And I don't know, it was just fun doing. Yeah, I'd never heard of a VTuber supervillain. I mean, there are dozens of big 2 books every month, so who knows? But that was where it was. I was like, I want to do something fun and different, and it's a character I really liked creating.
I thought that was maybe a nod to Randy with not knowing how to work a TikTok and stuff.
Well, yeah. I am Dale, basically.
I love it.
It kind of gets to the heart. That is one of the ways where our collaboration really works, is because I came in with the one shot that Dale already existed, and I think I put a lot of characterization into him, but there was already a set idea of who Dale was. But then when we got to the ongoing, it's like, okay, let's create Lainie. Who is she? And I think what works is we do kind of map to Dale and Lainie, where I'm a little younger. And
it's only 10 years.
It's not a lot. Well,
not your grandpa.
I just more mean that, I was able to feel a lot more immediate ownership with Lainie. So I have a lot more. I still love Dale. I don't want to sound like I don't, but I get to be, okay, let me focus. What's her journey going to be? And we both care so much that it helps us keep it balanced on making sure each character gets enough focus.
I really like too, you were talking about how Dale was getting added by friends and such. I liked how Lainie was kind of like, what's going on here? Like, why are you his friend? Like, kind of how she took it. It seemed like a little bit personal, maybe a tinge of like jealousy here and there, but like just how all her friends were interacting with Dale. And he's just, and to touch a little bit on it a little deeper, I felt like maybe that was a nice move, because the thing with Captain America, like how he was frozen in ice and he comes back, he would not be... Like, he would be very, very much in the 60s-esque type of Captain America, you know what I mean? He would not be as nearly nice as he was, as the MCU portrayed him. And I think, it was awesome to kind of see Dale, like, I don't know what any of this is, like, and the whole facade, like, they think he's just pretending, but that's him just being him, like, dude, chef kiss.
We want to keep it balanced. Like, he's obviously, as a hero, he's a bit more progressive than his time, even in the 60s. We want him to be a positive influence, but that's the thing. We want to keep going forward, that he doesn't always know everything. He's adjusting to a lot of stuff. Like, I'll say, even with our next issue 5 is about him adjusting to changes in his own relationship with Joanna, because we finally, again, now that the plot setup is out of the way, we're taking a bit more time to focus in on characters and looking at those interpersonal relationships, because ultimately, we can do big superhero action. Nico makes it look easy as heck. He's so good at it, but he's also really good at character work. And I think there are so many indie superhero books, putting aside Big 2, where you can get anything you want, that ideally it's the characters that are gonna, pull people in and make them want to keep reading more than anything.
I love that. So, Randy, I mean, with issue 4, we had the introduction of the influencer. What was your thoughts on this new character?
Well, as has been established, I have no idea about any of this modern stuff. So I'm glad that Jordan kind of nailed that. Yeah, the kernels were there, and I was I was around for those emails back and forth, but when Jordan delivered, yeah, I reference this a lot, but I literally, I'm not even joking, stood up at my desk here and I clapped after I finished reading that first script. And I had no notes aside from "You're amazing, Jordan." There was no changes requested. It was just, he nailed that whole thing. Something that actually, as you were talking earlier about Lainie's friends kind of having that desire to be around Dale, like, oh, he's so cool, and like getting to know him, just kind of struck me how in the past couple issues, Lainie has, not intentionally, but she's been alienating her friends by distancing from their usual socialization and whatnot, because she's becoming a superhero. And just kind of funny that they're kind of attaching to Dale, and they haven't been getting that from Lainie lately. So yeah, just these things where the characters are so real, and kudos to Jordan, because I can't do that kind of stuff, and he's built these people that existed in my head at one time, or that we've created together, and made them so real that you care about them so much, and it's just a fun ride for me to be along for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying it, and the whole VTuber thing, it was fun. It was visually like bringing Nico and Fran into this, and I can't wait to do things on the cover when we get some comments there. One of the Kickstarter rewards is to have people comment as if they're part of the stream.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Get Lucas doing that and looking like a real stream, and all the stuff that I'm barely aware of, but it just looks really cool.
I love that. Well, before we run out of time, let's go ahead and head over to the Kickstarter and see what all the hype is about. So give me just a few seconds. We'll get this pulled up. All right. Yeah, phenomenal work on this. I've always loved this story, Jordan. And like I said, it is so awesome to kind of have the opportunity to get you on the stream and kind of scratch your creative mind, what went into it and kind of how you guys work together with it.
Oh, absolutely. I love talking about this stuff. I always say it's like, I have creator-owned stuff that I also love very much, but anytime I get to write the script, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm writing the next issue script, and it's fun. I get to just like let loose and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's always a blast.
So we are looking at Bullet Adventures 1 through 4, superhero action and family dynamics 4. Dale learns as much about the present day as Lainie does about being a hero. This issue introduces VTuber sensation, the influencer. So let me go ahead and copy and paste this link right here. For everyone that is watching, be sure to pull this up and watch it with us. If you guys can back, we would love to see that. But putting this on Facebook and Twitter is 100% free. Word of mouth costs you nothing. And getting this book, out as far as humanly possible is what we're trying to do today. So you guys are at 1,816 of a $538 goal. Congratulations on tripling. Like, holy crap, 102 backers, 19 days left to go. How are you two feeling so far?
It's good. I'm quite pleased with how it's going. Hopefully we finish just as strong. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, we found a lot of, we're getting returning backers. We're still getting new backers. And, we would love more explosive growth. Who wouldn't? But we've seen the growth is there. We're getting a solid audience. And if it takes a while, again, I'm a bit more along for the ride, but hopefully it'll keep getting to the place where it's a little more friendly to Randy's budget.
And this cover is so gorgeous. I just love all the different colors in it. The influencer, her, themselves. So where did the design for the VTuber come from?
I think it was mostly Nico.
Yeah, I think he put a lot of just that anime influence, sort of like, if we actually had real life, she'd obviously kind of have that body mapping, cell shaded vibe to her.
Yeah. I thought
he
the
actually
design
had
was
a few
awesome.
different designs when he initially drew that, and I said, kind of, why don't we use them all and keep her constantly changing costumes and hairstyles and colors and whatnot.
That's actually, for not knowing much about a VTuber, you're right on the mark, Randy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, and that's one of those things I've thought about doing a VTuber too, like just having like a little animated PNG. Just sometimes it's tiring being on a camera 24/7. You kind of get to just be chilling. You don't have to put pants on. You can just chill. You could eat while you're doing your thing. Like, it's nice. So we have some gorgeous interiors right here. Also an awesome poke quote right there by yours truly. I love this right here. You just see these two powering up and just smashing this drone. So give us a little bit of what's going down in this interior right here.
So this is one of their first, again, we had their first actual team up at the end of the third issue, but the goal here was just like, okay, they're in the field, they're working together. Bullet is back, and we haven't really had a chance to address how people are reacting to Bullet's return yet, but that's something that'll hopefully pop up down the line. But yeah, it's them getting a chance to fight crime together. We had another throughout this whole arc, we were referencing back to the one shot, and so these drones are based on Robotica, who was the evil, like, mad scientist character from our Silver Age era story. And it's like, oh no, he just uploaded his whole design doc, all of his work, to the internet before he died, so that anyone now, especially nowadays with 3D printing, you can just make your own evil robots. And so that's sort of the quick fight they have at the beginning here, where that was one of the pulls throughout this arc, was just establishing again that sense of a bigger world by always calling back a little bit. And there's more of that moving forward, but we also want to keep introducing new people and new ideas.
And I love right here too, like, he has his phone on her and on him, and Lainie's like, "You got your phone on you? What are you doing? For future reference, don't do that." And then it's like, "My best friend's messaging you?" Like, I just love that's like the introduction to it. And that's where I thought, we got a little bit of the jealousy things coming on, or maybe a little bit of like, what's going on here. And I thought you did a good job fleshing out these characters to invoke that emotion.
I think there's an element for or at least the way I've been looking at it is, Dale's a bit unmoored. He still has Joanna, who's a lot older now, but his life, he was at the end of it. He kind of can just focus on being a superhero. So he has time to maybe be with her friends in a way she doesn't, because she still has school. She still has her relationship with her mom to worry about. She's just a bit more stretched thin than he is at this point.
I love this panel in particular right here too. Just that close up and that look of like fear, anxiety, like, oh, it's awesome.
Nico's great with expression work. Again, it's a little exaggerated, but it works really well in context.
And then we also have an awesome episode too, the Backdoor Pilot. So what's that about? That's at the end of each issue. I love, this little story.
Yeah, Dino Caruso pitched that when I offered to run some backup stories in Bullet Adventures, and it's a nice 2-pager every issue. Really clever. What he's doing with it, just kind of fun things. Alex Diotto, who's doing the artwork too, he's next level, and so I'm glad that I can put a couple pages of these guys in every issue.
And then right here, of course. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was always a little nervous because I handled shipping for the first time in America, and I was doing media mail, and they, in addition to the the story itself, there's like fake ads for other one characters, and I'm always like, U.S. Post Office, please, these are fake ads. This is not actual advertising.
Do not open this package.
Somebody actually did on the last campaign ask where he can get that. Is the Backdoor Pilot still available? Like, oh, that was the joke.
They're fun characters. I'm always like excited to see who gets introduced next. So maybe that'll kind of open up another series for you at some point, right? Like, the easy way to kind of get interest or gauge interest from, new characters. J. Michael Miller, real quick, over on YouTube says, "Look like a blast." Thank you for joining us, Jay. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's take a look at the creators of Bullet Adventures while we're here. So we have Jordan right here in the flesh. Awesome time to get you on the chat as well. But then we have some other creators. So let's give the rest of the creative team a shout out.
Yeah, so Nico, he's pretty new to comics. His first published work was Bullet Adventures #1 cover. And then, of course, we've got him on ongoing since Issues 2. And he's just like a fully formed, seasoned veteran right off the bat. Like, if you put him on any Marvel or DC book, he would not look out of place. He's just that good. Fran, of course, great colorist and complements that line work perfectly. I think one of my biggest strengths is just finding people that, complete that puzzle of the creative team, and I think I matched them up pretty well. Lucas, of course, we discussed earlier, he's a master letterer. He's in high demand now. He's doing a lot of DC work. So yeah, I'm lucky to have him. Laura, who did the first issue of the ongoing, she stuck around for covers for this initial arc. So yeah, it's great to have her. She delivers these really iconic superhero images. And, that one of Lainie on her own against these drones. Just fantastic work from her. And of course me, tagging along, riding the coattails of everybody else.
And then we have the reward. So let's go ahead and check out some of these reward tiers real quick while we are here. So you can get, and I'm going to be saying all of this in USD. The top number is going to be Canadian, guys. So you can get Digital Bullet Adventures issue 4 for about $4. awesome price right there. We have the print Bullet Adventures issue 4 cover A at $11. You can get cover B at $11 as well as C at $15. This will get you, this will be the digital catch-up, one shot, and issues 1 through 4 at $15, excuse me. So that's a crazy price for your digital catch-up. How many pages is in that?
It's 120 story pages for Bullet. I don't think, well, and then a bunch of, I mean, I'm assuming those would have all the backups too, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. For $15, that is a big bang for your buck. You get both print Bullet Adventures issue 4 covers at $21 USD. Both print 4 local only at $21. So this is for local pickup only if you live around Surrey or British Columbia. Did I say that first one right?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So 21, so save some shipping costs on that. You can get the Altruist Comics digital bundle at $30. So what other new comics are in this bundle?
Nothing new. I mean, it's all the older stuff.
Or other titles, excuse me.
Anthology, Death in Comics, the Sensational Swan, and then, of course, all of the Bullet issues as well.
Awesome price on that. And then we have a second Laura Kane custom digital commission at $143. So, man, you guys have some outstanding prices right here. The Ultimate Bullet Collection at $150. So this is going to get you everything in the kitchen sink?
Yeah, so like the silver metallic foil cover of the initial one-shot, all the variants, enamel pin, trading cards.
Oh, I love how these match up to a bigger image too. I've always been a sucker for those. Like how the trading cards yeah, that is so cool.
There's a Spider-Man series that Mark Bagley drew, and there's several of those characters all joined up to one image. The X-Men series by Jim Lee, they had a Danger Room scene. So I always wanted to do that.
You know, and that's such a smart marketing technique, right? Because you want to collect the full image. Like, it's so smart. I love it. And then that's it. Everything is all gone. So awesome Kickstarter, you guys. For everyone watching, right here is the link in the chat. Be sure to back this today. And if you can't, put this wherever you can. Word of mouth costs you nothing. And these are awesome creators. Help them out. Get this book out as far as possible. Jordan, Randy, with that being said, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them just to kind of help push them over that fence?
If you give it a try, I guarantee you'll love it. I mean, that's all I can say. It's a ton of fun. It's high quality. You're almost at the ground floor if you join in now, and I promise that we'll continue on. It may take a while to get additional issues, but we're doing another 4 arc. So yeah, just join us, and it's probably your new favorite superhero book.
Yeah, and for me, I think everything Randy said is accurate, and also this is a book that, you know, Randy's independent as a publisher with Altruist Comics, and so it's not competing on like a pay scale with some of the bigger things, but he takes care of the creators. He's been very receptive to all our ideas and making sure that we get heard. So I think it should be rewarded just for that, just the sort of things you hope we would see at the big two or the bigger publishers just in general. And also it's fun. Yeah, I just have a blast. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I come away with it super proud of every issue, and I get to feel a sense of ownership, even though it's not something I created on my own with another collaborator. I'm as proud of it as I am any of my other books, and I'd love for more people to see it.
I love it. We have a good question from Michael Katz. What's the best, most successful add-on stretch goal that you guys have ever had? Like add-on or stretch goal?
Yeah, we've done a few of the Ultimate collections, and I'm always happy to see people grab all those. Just to see a price point that high that people are willing to spend on something that they were just introduced to, that it's kind of proof that it's just a good looking book, and people try it. Of course, the creator ones that have had artist commissions, and Jordan has been kind enough to offer script edits. Those are higher prices, and all that money goes straight to them. I'm actually not keeping that, but I think that's pretty cool that people have a chance to get a piece of the creators as well and their time outside of this campaign.
Did we miss a script edit? Was there one in the
It's
reward
gone
list?
already.
Oh, it's sold out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. I was like, hey, that just goes to show you how good it is, right?
Yeah.
No, that
I
is
hope so.
awesome. That is awesome. So what's next for you guys in 2023? We have you teased a little bit. Show us that cover again. We got a trade paperback coming out soon.
Yeah, that'll be probably the next campaign.
That
there.
is gorgeous.
And
That
we're
is a
working
gorgeous
on
cover.
another 4 issues of Bullet Adventures. Jordan's working on the script for number 5 right now. So that'll complete another arc, and then of course followed by a trade paperback at some point down the line. Yeah, a lot of Bullet for me. Not too much else to announce yet, but I know Jordan's got things coming out. So.
Yeah, Jordan,
Yeah,
give us the deets.
So as Randy has it scheduled, it's looking like we'll hopefully do a Bullet issue every 3 months or so. And as long as the Kickstarters keep working, it's always It's a tough model, but we seem to be doing all right so far. And then, as I mentioned, Cooking with Monsters is my debut graphic novel. It is a YA book about battle chef or warrior chefs fighting monsters and creating meals from the spoils.
Oh, I
have
it.
2 other books that I can't fully talk about yet because they're not announced, but one's with Skylar Patridge, and the other will hopefully I'll be able to say more about soon. And then, and I also did I wrote the lore for the Apex Legends cookbook, which is out in October.
No shit, that's so cool. Oh, that is so awesome. You play a lot of Apex?
I do, yeah. It's not as, I'll admit, not as much as Fortnite, but I do like Apex a lot.
Hey, we do an indie comic Fortnite throwdown. You're gonna have to join us sometime.
Please, yeah, I would love to. But other than that, I'm working on pitches and hopefully just more Bullet for as long as we can.
Let's go. That is so awesome. Now, Jordan, I know this is your first time on the show, but Randy, you've been on before. You know the drill. I always love to ask you guys for a little bit of advice. As much as we love promoting what you're doing, we love also asking for a little bit of help for anyone who might be trying to, maybe do the same thing. So with that in mind, for anyone looking to start a series, I know the thing is to start small, but like with creating a character in mind for an ongoing series, what would be your biggest piece of advice to kind of help make that happen, like to kind of help set a proper foundation to give that life?
So the biggest piece of advice would be to find somebody talented to do the heavy lifting, which I've done because I couldn't do it on my own. Starting small is really the way to go. Short stories, 2-pagers, 6-pagers, whatever, and get your feet wet. But yeah, if you're ambitious, and probably a good piece of advice is to not assume it's going to go for 20 or 50 issues. Take those smaller bites. What would lead up to a decent collection, and that's how we've been modeling it. That we can put out 4 or 5 issues, and that'll be a collected volume. And then, as long as I don't become unemployed, I will continue funding these issues slowly but surely, and Kickstarter helps offset that. Take it slow, but just do it.
That is awesome.
I think the thing I'd say, and it's the biggest advice I always give, is just whoever you're working with at whatever level on however long a story, respect your collaborators, respect the time they're putting in. And, a lot of young or starting out writers will get into this mentality of like, oh, well, I'm the one paying for everything, and I have to fund it. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're your idea and you want to break in, that is just them's the breaks of comics. But the thing you'll find is the better you treat your collaborators early on, the word of mouth gets out there, and the dream situation you're thinking of where, oh, I'm working with this person and we're just doing a pitch because we want to. It's like, you have to earn that trust, and you shouldn't do it for mercenary reasons. You should just do it because comics is collaboration, and so be a good collaborator. Treat them the way you would want to be treated. It is the golden rule for a reason. So that's always the thing I say.
And if you're treating, your team good, they're going to be producing hopefully good work, right? If you're not berating them and treating them like crap, they're going to be giving you the best of the best that they can offer. So don't hamper your team.
Even though I'm not giving out mainstream rates, I know that I recognize that, but I like to think that everybody on the book is excited to do it. Not that they would do it for free, but almost to that extent that they want to be here. They're not just here for the pay, because obviously that's not great. But getting them excited, and they're enthusiastic to work on the book, and it shows on the page.
It's like, you guys are getting paid. So awesome advice. We always end the show strong on what you guys are consuming outside of creating. So Randy, Jordan, what are you guys reading? What are you watching? Jordan, what are you gaming on?
Well, I'm playing. I was, until we again left home, I was playing Street Fighter 6 and really enjoying it. Hopefully, again, I won't get too rusty. I was playing it all weekend, but then I am also been playing. I finally got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Oh my god, so jealous!
And that's been a lot of fun. It is as good as everyone has said it is. So, but I'm always kind of messing around. I play a lot. I collect for. I finally got a Wii again, so I've been trying to get some Wii games. I'm playing too much all the time usually.
That's not a bad thing though, right? Unless it's running into deadlines. Randy, what about you?
So I still have the Wii, and that was my primary platform up until a few months back when we got a PS4 hand-me-down from a friend. So my gaming consists of NHL 2001 on PS4.
and playing Snake on his phone. I
Just
love
to show
it.
you, I've got a smartphone. It's not a flip phone, guys. To be clear.
I love it. So thank you guys once again for an awesome sit down, Jordan. It was a pleasure to get you on finally and kind of scratch your mind a little bit on this series as well. Everyone watching, right there is the link to make this project happen. Be sure to back it, and if you can't back it, put it wherever you can. Word of mouth is 100% free. I hope you all have a lovely Saturday, but most importantly, guys, keep it geekly.